If you are going to sell options, there's a lot of extra risks that go into them. One of them is being assigned. Now, I personally don't sell options anymore. There was a point in time in my trading career where I did so. And I remember waking up one morning and seeing that I was short 200 shares in God, what it was. It was the retail ETF, XRT, I think of what it is. And I had a margin call against it and everything, and I was like, "What the hell?" Right? And that was because the options that I sold were assigned, and therefore, not only did I have a margin call, not only did the dividend from those shares come out of my account into their account, which come on, what a total joke on that was. But I didn't know what I was doing in that case, right? So I don't want you to ever be in a situation where you're having a bad headache like that when you wake up the next day. So we're gonna watch this video together. Don't sell options until you know these assignment risks, because honestly, there's a lot of extra risk that goes into selling options, and I don't want you to sell options, but you should at least know these risks.
What if I told you that option assignment is not based on when you opened your position or when you sold your contract? It's not based on how deep in the money you are, and it's not even controlled by your broker. In this video, we're breaking down the top 7 myths regarding options assignment, and I'll share with you the actual mechanical way in which assignments are conducted. Myth number 1. Only options contracts held until expiration can get assigned. Remember that the option buyer has a right, but not an obligation to buy or sell 100 shares, depending on if it's a call option or a put option. And by extension, option sellers have an obligation. The contract is not based on at expiration. Most options contracts are known as American style options, which means that the option buyer at any point during the contract timeframe can request early assignment. And honestly, that can happen for a variety of different reasons. It could be due to a dividend stock that's about to hit their ex dividend date and somebody really wants to own that stock. It could also be because the price of a stock or ETF is plunging and an option buyer really wants to unload their stock shares. But the key thing to remember here is even though it might not be common, early assignment can occur on most stocks or ETFs traded by investors. Myth number 2, you can only be assigned on in the money options contracts. Wrong again. So this can get
Right. You can be assigned on any one, but it's more likely to happen when you're in the money.
a little bit convoluted. Really, to understand this, you need to understand how the option assignment process works. Option buyers initiate the assignment request. They exercise their option contract. When that happens, all of the collective different assignment requests from all the different brokers out there all collectively come to the Options Clearing Corporation, known as the OCC. They then collect all of them. Let's say there's 100 contracts that are requested assignment for a specific strike price. They then turn around and look back at all the different brokers and say, well, how many different option sellers, how many short contracts does Fidelity have? How many does Schwab have? How many does Robinhood? Public, Tasty Trade, etc. They then allocate all of those different assignment requests proportionally to the different brokers based on how many option sellers they have or how many short contracts they have. Then once those assignment requests have made it back to the broker level, they then are, in most cases, with most retail investors, randomly assigned out to different investors. So if option seller A has one contract outstanding, one sold contract, and option seller B also has one contract, they have an equal risk of being assigned on their contract, but maybe, depending on how many contracts need to be assigned that day, maybe only one of them gets assigned and the other doesn't. And technically, since this is a randomized process, option seller A may be deeper in the money and not get assigned, whereas option seller B may be only in the money by 5 cents and they do get assigned. And in theory, depending on how many contracts come to a specific brokerage, it is
Uh, Sometimes it's just interesting to listen and learn. So I'm definitely learning from this.
possible that you could be just slightly outside the money and still get assigned, though it's very unlikely. I can tell you that personally, I've never been.
So let's discuss why it's unlikely to be assigned out of the money. Reason being is that these values, right? Anything out of the money doesn't have any extrinsic value. I'm sorry, it doesn't have any intrinsic value. It's all extrinsic. So it's like they're buying more shares that have a higher value than the price of the stock. Wait a minute. Wait, I'm instantly going to start losing? Pretty much. And that's why if it's in the money, if you sold calls in the money, you're more likely to be assigned because they already have a buttload of intrinsic value, right? So for example, if the stock is trading at 42 and you sold the 33 calls, well, geez, that's $9 in the money. Or $10 in the money in this case. Maybe I'll just go with that guy, right? It's already valuable by $10. I think I'll go for it versus one that's $10 out of the money. There's no value to this. What am I going to do with it?
Been assigned on a contract that was out of the money, but I have had contracts that were right at the money that I did get assigned on, and a few that were in the money by only 1 or 2 cents that I didn't get assigned on. Hey guys, just a quick note here. We're talking about myths regarding options assignments, and there's plenty of content out there on YouTube. But if you want to level up your knowledge and experience, make sure to check out the Average Joe Investor Income Academy. You get access to an amazing community of over 100 in the money by
Sorry, I meant to fast forward. We're gonna skip his ad read here.
only 1 or 2 cents every single day. If you're interested in learning risk on spreads, and this really relates back to what I just talked about, the options.
Ooh, okay. So I hope he goes deep into this. There's no assignment risk on spreads because if you guys remember, there was a story a few years ago about a young man who was assigned shares of Amazon through Robinhood. He didn't know what he was doing, unfortunately, and he woke up on Sunday and he saw that he had, negative, I think it was $800,000 balance in his account, and it was because the strike had closed. I'm sorry, the price of the option, the price of the stock had closed between his short and long strike, and they assigned him on one, but they didn't exercise the other, kind of thing. Now, from what I understand, on his particular position, it would have been fine on Monday, and I don't have all the details in front of me, but there is the chance, right? If you sell one and you buy the other for protection, that it could end right in the middle, and then you get really hosed.
Assignment process. The Options Clearing Corporation, OCC, really doesn't see how many people are holding spreads versus just cash secured puts versus just covered calls, shorts or puts, etc., or how many are in like an iron condor or a butterfly spread. Doesn't matter. All they see is the number of options contracts. As a result, any type of spread contract, whether it's a credit spread, whether it's an iron condor, whether it's a butterfly, doesn't matter. If your short strike is in the money, you're at risk of assignment, especially the closer you get to expiration. Myth number 4, if the price is right at the money or right at the strike price, then you're not going to get assigned. This is not true because remember, assignment begins at the option holder level. And technically, an option holder can request to not be assigned on a contract, even though it's in the money. And this might likely occur because it's in the money just by a few cents as opposed to significantly in the money. And again, at the end of the day, it's based on how many contracts come over to the OCC requesting assignment for any given expiration on any given day. They are then proportionally passed out to all the different brokers. It could be that an at the money contract does get assigned based on that randomized process we talked about, and it could be for a different seller that does not get assigned at the money. And of course, we know that prices fluctuate after hours, and there is a time frame. I'm surprised I haven't brought this up yet. There's a time frame by which you can no longer manage your contract. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for most standard stocks and ETFs, excluding QQQ, SPY, and IWM. However, option holders have more time to request assignment. Every broker is a little bit different, but most of the time that cutoff time is 5:30 Eastern Time or 9.
I I don't have a lot to add to this because I'm just sitting here and learning. Granted, I don't want you selling options. It breaks the golden rule of trading, which is, where is that at? The golden rule of leverage, which is never put yourself in a situation where you can lose more than you can make. And this is another one of those things that can happen when you sell options is you can be assigned, which means your trade goes haywire. Your trade goes a different direction, right? It's like it comes up to the intersection, takes a left when you were wanting it to go right, and you had never planned on that. You're like, oh man, now I'm assigned the stock. I got to close it. I might have to pay margin fees. I might have a margin call. I might have to pay the dividend. Like there's a lot of extra bullcrap that goes into selling options that unfortunately is the reality of selling options.
90 minutes after the market closes, especially if there is big market news that could happen, like an earnings report after hours. You really, as the option seller, have a cutoff to your time that is exceeded by the time that the option holder can request assignment. So if you're close to being in the money, close to expiration, it would behoove you. It would make a lot of sense as the option seller to close that contract.
I, Same thing with an option buyer, right? The closer you get to expiration, the more you need to be getting ready to get out. So, for example, in my portfolio right now, I have between 11 and 39 DTE on any of my existing positions. So, as I get closer to expiration, I don't want that risk of it being out of the money if I've bought the options. And so I will roll it out into the future. If I can't roll it for a credit, then I'll just close the trade because the gamma risk gets heightened, right? It's like if Hulk and Spider Man walk into the same room, right? That gamma risk is out of control in there. And the gamma risk is when your stock can fall out of the money at expiration and it becomes worthless. I don't want that to happen to you.
early rather than take on the pin risk or the chance that that contract could go in the money or out of the money at the very last second, or that assignment could occur based on after hours prices movement. In fact, you could see a stock that closes at 4 p.m. out of the money. Take, for example, Nvidia, and then the earnings comes out and then the stock spikes in value. And so then that call option might get assigned when you thought it wasn't going to be assigned. Myth number 5, assignment occurs right at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This kind of follows off of what we were just talking about, which is assignment doesn't occur at one specific time. It's a process, a time frame that occurs up until a cutoff, usually around 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, or about an hour and a half after the market closes. At any point during that time, the option holder or for all the contracts out there could request assignment. And a lot of things could affect that, including the after hours price movement of the stock, which could be significantly changed or altered based on earnings or any other positive or negative news that could occur. Myth number 6, early assignment doesn't occur. Of course it does. We already talked about this a little bit in the beginning. Early assignment is possible with American style options and can occur, even though it's uncommon, depending on different circumstances. Primarily, like I said, with dividend stocks and an ex-dividend date. It could also be more likely if market sentiment changes and we maybe enter a significant bull market or any type of black swan event where people really want to unload their stocks. It would be fair to say that early assignment is less common, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen at all. Myth number 7, if my option holder requests assignment, then I will get assigned. This is not correct because there is not this one-to-one relationship between the option buyer and the
Yeah, like he was talking about earlier, it just goes into a pool and then they get distributed out, right? So listen, when it comes to trading, right, we want to remove as many variables as possible. I don't put stop losses in the market because I don't want my trade to be closed just when spreads widen out on the bid and ask on any particular option, right? That super sucks. It's happened to me before. I don't want to be assigned shares on short options, and it's happened to me before and it super sucks, right? I don't want to have to pay somebody else's dividend out of my, because that actually is the case here. If you're holding it and you get assigned at X dividend date, you owe the person who assigned it the dividend out of your account. F that noise. I want to be the guy who's making the dividends, not the one paying them. But that's not how it works, right? When you sell options, there's a lot more complexity that goes into it and a lot more headaches. So for me personally, I have not sold options in years, and it was really difficult for me to get off of that train. I spent years learning how to trade by selling options. And after I lost over $200,000 selling it that way, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to talk to people who have actually made money in the markets. So I hooked up with Steve Burns and I worked with 5 different market wizards from that point. Guess how many of them sold options? Seriously, guess how many of them were selling options? And I'll never forget explaining this to Steve Burns. And Steve was like, "Yeah, Chris, I used to trade that way too until I realized I wanted to make money. I want you to make money. I don't want you to have to deal with this. And I want you to save time, make money, and start winning with less risk by clicking one of these 2 videos." We'll talk soon.